Ashido is an ordinary young man who was born in a quiet village, and from a young age he was known to be a lover of football, and he dreamed of becoming a professional player in one of the big clubs, and he was also known among people for his excellent play and his unpredictable moves. But he also became famous for his selfish style and his hot-tempered personality, and that was the reason that made all the clubs refuse to accept him. But Ashido held on to hope, until one time one of the coaches offered to include him in his club, and when Ashido goes he discovers that he is in an unfamiliar environment full of talents, and he had to perform at the highest level to prove himself in front of everyone. One day, Ashido was playing a match in the finals of the middle school league, and he managed to perform very excellently, and he also received the ball and passed the first and second players, so the crowd watching shouted for him, and they said that he is a skilled boy and that the ball never leaves his foot, and Ashido bursts through the players, and he manages to score a beautiful goal after a powerful shot, and he turns the match result from losing to a draw, so the crowd and players celebrate with him, and he tells them we can defeat the team in front of us and reach the final. But the opposing goalkeeper goes to Ashido and tells him your shoelace is not tied, so Ashido bends down quickly to tie it, and the goalkeeper continues speaking. Do you not remember me? We were together in elementary school, but unfortunately you were not liked in any team there at all, and that was because of your selfish playing style with the ball. So Ashido replies, you are right, but as you can see I am playing for this team now, and after that Ashido leaves him and walks away, but the goalkeeper calls out to him and tells him it is good that there is a team in an isolated village that accepted you. Ashido stops, and the goalkeeper continues speaking, your team's playing style is very boring, they do nothing except pass you the ball and then go back to defend. They really look like a bunch of idiots. So Ashido goes to him angrily, and suddenly Ashido headbutts him in the head, and Ashido is sent off from the match and his team loses the game, and they are eliminated from the tournament. After the match his mother goes to him, while he is sitting very sad after what he did, and his mother tells him, you told me that this is your last tournament in middle school, that is why I took a vacation from work and came to watch you, and in the end you do these actions! So the coach also goes to Ashido, and asks him why did you hit him without even thinking? Your mother came to watch you play, and in the end you hit the opponent. So he replies, my mother has nothing to do with the matter, so his mother grabs him and hits him. The coach continues speaking. Even the coach who came from high school to watch you play completely refused to include you after he saw your behavior on the field, and he told me that he was excited to take a striker like you, but you are a mentally immature player. So Ashido is shocked and becomes sad. After a while in some place, there is a person standing talking on the phone, and at the same time watching Ashido running, and as soon as Ashido passes in front of him, he tells him you have been running for 2 hours, how many laps exactly do you want to take? You are supposed to rest a bit, I was waiting for you because I wanted to talk to you, but you are definitely angry after what you did in the match, right? And suddenly Ashido collapses from exhaustion and faints. At sunset, Ashido wakes up from sleep while he is lying on one of the benches in the place where he fainted, and suddenly he hears the sound of a ball hitting the wall, and he goes to see what it is, and he finds the person who was standing with him before he fainted showing off his ball skills. So Ashido is amazed by how that person controls the ball on his chest, and asks him, who are you? So he replies, do you want me to teach you how to do it? And he throws him the ball to try, but he cannot control the ball correctly. The man tells him to be able to do it you must direct the ball in the direction you want it to go, in order to maintain your field of vision. So Ashido goes to him so he can teach him how to control it properly, and then that person draws several circles on the ground, and tells him I want you after you receive the ball to drop it onto one of these circles with one touch, and to do that your body must be oriented in the correct way after your first touch. At night, Ashido's family starts to worry about him because he still has not returned home until now, so his brother calls the coach to check on him. But the coach tells him that he sent the players to look for him, and Ashido's brother apologizes to the coach for this trouble. So the coach replies there is no need to apologize, but unfortunately no one has managed to find Ashido until now, so Ashido's mother says leave him alone like this. I took a vacation from work to watch him play, and I find him hitting an opposing player. And then his mother opens the door to leave and go to work, but she is surprised to find the opposing goalkeeper who provoked Ashido standing in front of her with his father and mother. Ashido's mother lets them in to talk, and the opposing player admits that he was the one who provoked Ashido to annoy him, and he says the ball was always with him, and if he had continued they would have won, so I wanted him to hit me. And when he showed no reaction, I was forced to insult his mother and his shoe, and how poor he is and that he has no money, and also that people do not want to play with him because of his appearance, and that is why I came here to apologize to him. On the other side, the person who is trying to train Ashido says you are very bad. You have been for a long time unable to control the ball properly. I will not be able to return to the hotel on time like this. So Ashido replies no one asked you to watch me while I train, and Ashido realizes that this move is actually difficult and not as he thought. So the man asks him to explain how he scored his last goal, but Ashido does not care about him and takes the ball again and goes to train, and after a lot of talk from the man, Ashido gets angry and decides that he will explain to him how he scored the goal. Ashido starts to explain explain what happened and mentions the positions of the players in detail, and also that he exploited the space behind the opposing players to score, so that person becomes impressed. So Ashido asks him what is wrong with you, but the man stands up without speaking, and tells him I need to rest a bit, and you should also go back home, and the man goes to sleep on one of the street benches, while he is shocked by Ashido's ability to memorize the positions of the 22 players on the field. The next day, that person wakes up to the sound of a dog, and is surprised that Ashido is still training with the ball all this time. So, Ashido tells him, now that you woke up, did you see how I managed to master the skill? I spent the whole night training on it. So the man goes to him, and tells him I am the youth team coach of Tokyo City, and my name is Fukuda. So Ashido is surprised, and Fukuda continues speaking, all Japanese league teams have youth teams at high school age. Come to our trials that will be in Tokyo in 10 days. Go back home and talk to your family about the matter. After some time, Ashido goes to the school field to train with the ball, and some female fans call out to him and say what happened in the tournament was an unfortunate accident, but we enjoyed cheering for you. So Ashido becomes sad, and he finds his friends calling him to play a match with them. So Ashido agrees and goes immediately, and while playing, Ashido remembers his mother's and brother's words about traveling. We return to the past, and his mother tells him, what are you thinking about? How can I let you go to Tokyo alone at this age? And you will also go to play football only? Do you know what our financial situation is like? We do not have enough money. We return to the present, and after Ashido finishes playing, his brother goes to talk to him, and tells him the coach Fukuda, who talked to you, was a great midfielder, and he played with the Japanese national team. He was playing 10 years ago. I do not know how you do not know him. He even played in the Spanish league. So Ashido is shocked, and his brother continues speaking, but unfortunately he suffered a serious injury and retired from football. So Ashido remembers his moments with him, and his brother tells him you must go to the trials, and then his brother gives him an envelope with money, and asks him not to waste the money on nothing, so Ashido is surprised. After that, Ashido takes himself and goes to Tokyo, and stands in front of the club building from the outside, and he cannot believe himself that he is standing in front of the club, and he tells himself I have to go get ready. So Ashido puts down the bag on his shoulder, and suddenly bumps into a girl named Hana. So she asks him, are you the boy from the village? So he replies surprised, yes, how did you know? So she tells him, because of your hairstyle, my brother told me that someone with hair like yours would come. So Ashido moves her hand away from his hair, gets angry at her, and asks who are you? So she tells him follow me because the trials are about to start. After they walk for a while, Hana tells him that here we have very talented players in the trials, and they are strong candidates to join the club youth team, but Ashido does not respond to her, and is amazed by the stadium, so Hana leaves him and walks away. After that, all the players enter the field, and one of the coaches there starts introducing himself and how great their first team is, so Coach Fukuda thanks them for coming, and at the same time looks for Ashido with his eyes, and smiles when he sees him, and after a lot of talk from the coach, Ashido gets nervous, and tries to put his hand on his heart to calm himself. So Coach Fukuda says we rarely take anyone from these trials, there is a possibility that we might not take any of you. Ashido gets angry, and asks him, are you telling us this now? Many people came here from far places, if you choose no one that would be a big injustice. So Coach Fukuda goes to him and looks at him angrily. So Ashido gets nervous because he feels that he said something wrong, but he is surprised when the coach replies that he indeed never mentioned that part before. So Ashido looks down, and is even more surprised when he finds the coach wearing sandals. The coach turns his face to the rest of the players, and tells them we will take any player who is ready. We know many things about you. Talent scouts are always searching for skilled players. If we see someone who truly deserves it, we send him an invitation immediately. You are 86 players present on this field. Each one of you must prove himself today, and seize the opportunity to be with us later. So all the players become very excited, and Ashido becomes more nervous. After that, they start the first stage, which is the fitness test, and while Ashido is watching the players nervously, one of the players, whose name is Otomo, comes to him and asks him, why is your hand shaking? I also shake from nervousness, and my stomach hurts when I am anxious. So Ashido introduces himself to him, so Otomo gets angry at him and asks him, what did you do? Because of you, the coach spoke seriously to the players, and that made all the players excited, even though they were nervous before, and now I have no chance to be accepted in the trials. So Ashido tells him, on the contrary, I like that. I will be able to play football with players when they are at their best. After a while, the second stage of the test starts, which is a small-sided match 7 versus 7 for 20 minutes. So Otomo says who chose these teams. The team we are facing is much stronger than us, but Ashido is overly excited. The match starts, and the opposing team manages to score a goal against Ashido's team, and then a high ball comes to Ashido, and he manages to control it, and he takes the ball and runs at full speed, but an opposing defender slides on him, takes the ball, and they launch a counterattack against them. And in the end the attack ends in the net of Ashido's team, so Otomo goes to Ashido and scolds him strongly, and tells him do not try to do everything by yourself, you keep losing the ball all the time. So Ashido gets angry at him, and replies because none of you pass the ball to me. So Otomo tells him if they continue like this they will lose the match, and they must go back to playing as a team again. After that an opposing player dribbles past one of Ashido's teammates, so Ashido is shocked, but one of his teammates manages to recover the ball again. So Ashido signals to him to play a long ball to him, but his teammate ignores him completely, and runs with the ball until an opposing player slides on him, and sends the ball out for a throw-in. On the other side, Hana asks Coach Fukuda, who at the same time is her brother, why is there such a big difference between the two teams? So he replies their paths are linked to these trials. All of them are trying to show themselves, but at the same time all of them are thinking about themselves, and in a team like this no one knows the other, and that makes performing well almost impossible. That is why we choose them based on their intelligence in play. At the same time the coaches say the boy who came from the village is not good at all, he stopped moving completely. Why did Coach Fukuda make him come all this distance? So Ashido tells himself sadly my bad habit is controlling me again, and the players here are very skilled, but I want to play real football with these people. After that Ashido asks Otomo for the ball, so he passes the ball to him, so the coaches are surprised by him, and ask what is he doing. He is a striker but dropped back to defense to receive the ball, so they shout at the team at Ashido, and tell him pass the ball quickly before it is taken from you in our area, but Ashido tries to keep possession of the ball, so Hana looks at Coach Fukuda's face, and finds him very excited. One of the opposing players tells his teammate if we all press him we can easily take the ball from him, so Ashido drops back closer to his own goal. So Hana is surprised by him, and asks what is he doing. So Otomo asks his teammate to run behind the defenders who moved out of their area, and Ashido sends a high ball toward his teammate, who manages to score a header. So everyone in the field is amazed, and Ashido is happy with his special play. After a while the match ends, so Coach Fukuda stands up to choose 11 players from them to advance to the final stage. But first he gives the players a short break until the coaches decide who they will choose, so Otomo asks Ashido how can you eat all this food? I cannot even swallow the food because I am nervous since I do not know if I will succeed or not. I did not get much time with the ball. After that Ashido goes to get more food, and is surprised to find Hana the coach's sister standing in the kitchen, so he asks her you not supposed to be working on the field. What brought you here? So she replies you misunderstand, I volunteered to work today only, otherwise I am just a normal student. But forget all that, I will not give you more food. So Ashido gets angry, so she tells him why are you angry? If you succeed you will play again immediately, and besides that you ate a lot of fried food which is hard to digest. By the way, why did a reckless person like you not take a long time to make such a perfect pass? Was that a coincidence? So he replies honestly I do not know, the opponent controlled us on the field, so I said we must do something, so she tells him I understand that was an inner feeling. On the other side, the coaches consult each other on choosing the players, and one of the coaches chooses Otomo, so another coach is surprised and tells him, but he did not do anything worth mentioning in the match, so he tells him on the contrary, his skill is in his style inside and outside the field. Even before the trials he was talking to different players, and he also directed his teammate to move into space and from that he scored the goal. Besides that he was the only one motivating his team when they were struggling, and after that the coaches asked the players to come out to the field, so they can choose the players. The players gather while being in a state of intense anticipation, and Coach Fukuda starts calling out the names, so joy and happiness appear on the players' faces, until suddenly the coach calls Ashido's name, and Ashido is shocked when he hears it, and after a while Ashido calls his family, and informs them that he reached the final stage of the trials, so his brother congratulates him, and asks him to give his maximum effort to join the club. After that the players go down to the field again to prepare for the second confrontation, so Ashido goes to his teammates and suggests that they talk together, to break the state of tension they are in, but no one gives him any attention, and they leave and walk away, but Ashido notices Otomo raising his hand, and tells him that he does not want to be alone in the final stage, and suddenly their fellow players start joining them one by one. They sit on the ground to get to know each other, and one of the players says this is my last chance to become a professional player, so Otomo replies me too, I know my true level, we are supposed to give all our effort to enter the youth team, if I am not accepted I will have to join my high school football team, and then I will play for 3 years and retire like anyone else. A player with them named Takebana replies, I have not developed as a player for years, and I started to lose my passion for competition. That is why I came here to change that feeling. If I do not become a professional player my life will be ruined. So Ashido starts to remove this gloomy mood, and tries to motivate them for the final match. Suddenly Coach Fukuda enters on them, apologizes for the delay and tells them get ready, because you will play against the Tokyo City youth team, so all the players become nervous, and one of them tells him these people are on a completely different level of professionalism. How will we be able to show our skills in front of them? So the coach replies, can you not play against a team better than you? So Otomo looks at Ashido's face while he is nervous and finds him extremely excited. After that, Ashido's team prepares to play the last match. So Ashido tells them that they can beat them. So Tachibana agrees with Ashido's words and also tries to raise the team's motivation and puts a plan to beat them. So an opposing player named Akutsu goes to Ashido, asks him about his shoes, shakes his hand and walks away. So Ashido tells himself how respectful and polite that player is. The match starts with a fast kickoff from Ashido, who sends a long ball to Tachibana, but Tachibana is surprised by the space behind the defenders, so he passes a short ball to Otomo, so Ashido asks him for the ball after he outruns the defender, but he is also surprised to find himself without any marking or pressure, so Otomo sends a ground pass to Ashido, who shoots it with one touch but it hits the post. Ashido's team starts building another attack, and Otomo sends a ball to Tachibana, who breaks into the opponent's area and manages to shoot, but the goalkeeper saves the ball brilliantly, but the rebound goes to Ashido, who volleys it, but the goalkeeper saves it again. Then the match stops to treat Otomo, whose nose has started bleeding, and Tachibana starts asking himself, are the opponents going easy on us? The match resumes again, and one of the players lifts the ball to Ashido, who has a defender in front of him, and he says, if I use the one-touch skill that Coach Fukuda taught me, I will be able to get past him easily, and Ashido actually does what he planned, but he is surprised when the opposing player takes the ball from him, and he asks himself, how did he recover so fast? Then the opposing team moves the ball with one touch until they reach the goal, and they manage to score the first goal very easily. The players keep exchanging the ball with one touch, and Ashido's team struggles against them, and cannot even keep up with their play, so Coach Fukuda tells Hana the skill they are using allows them to reach the opponent's goal very quickly. But this style of play requires everyone to be positioned correctly. At the same time, Ashido drops back to defend, and tries to wake his teammates up on the field, and tries to receive the ball with one touch and start an attack. But he miscontrols it, and he finds Akutsu, the opposing player, shooting the ball and scoring the second goal, and the first half ends with Ashido's team trailing by 2 goals. Akutsu goes to Ashido and asks him, do you not have money to buy new shoes? I also heard that you came from far away, who paid for your trip, and he extends his hand to help him up, and tells him, unfortunately you do not have any talent at all, while Ashido stands there shocked. Ashido's team goes to sit together, and they say, why did they not start the match with this strength? Are they underestimating us? And one of them calls the rest of their teammates to join them, but no one responds, so Otomo goes to them to talk, and tells them that the team did not benefit from them today, and they must gather to understand each other, so they listen to his words and attend the meeting with them. On the other side, Hana is treating Ashido after his nose injury, so he asks her, why are you the one treating me? So she replies, stopping a nosebleed is easy, and Hana notices that he is looking at Akutsu, so she asks him if he is bothering him or not, so he replies, what about him? But Akutsu signals to him to start the match. The second half begins and Ashido takes the ball and starts running, and tries to get past Akutsu but cannot because of his physical strength, and the opposing team starts attacking, and one of their players manages to get past several players, and Otomo stands there unable to believe what is happening, and at the end of the attack a corner kick is awarded to the opposing team. Kutsu goes to Ashido again and tries to provoke him, so Ashido asks him, since you can play like this, why did you not play like this from the beginning? So he replies, we were just getting used to playing, so Ashido is surprised, and goes to his team and asks them to focus on the match, defend better, and not leave opposing players unmarked. The corner is taken quickly, and Ashido jumps to clear the ball out of his area, but he is surprised when Akutsu jumps with him, falls on him and causes him a chest injury, so the coaches go to him to take him off the field for treatment. But Ashido refuses to leave the field and endures the pain, and asks Akutsu to give him his hand so they can continue playing, so Fukuda stands up and tells Ashido's team an important piece of information, which is that all the players in the youth team play out of their usual positions except the goalkeeper, so Ashido is shocked. The coach continues speaking, you only have 10 minutes left, give all your effort, so 2 players fall to the ground from frustration, because the youth team is playing out of position and yet they crushed Ashido's team, and Ashido looks while shocked at Akutsu's face, and asks himself, how did my brother really gather this money? After that play resumes again, and the ball is intercepted from a defender of Ashido's team, and the opponent manages to score the third goal, and that is after the players lost their spirit after hearing the news from Fukuda, and Ashido holds his chest after the hit he took from Akutsu, and Ashido remembers the past when his mother bought him the shoes he is wearing for the first time, and which clearly she struggled to pay for, and Ashido asks himself, is this the farthest I can reach? At the same time, Tachibana runs with the ball and asks his teammate to join him in the attack, but his teammate is tired and unable to move, so the ball is taken from him, and one of Ashido's team players challenges the opposing player, but he is completely desperate, so the opponent gets past him easily, and he starts crying. So Ashido tells himself, I want now to go back home and sleep. I wanted to play football like the one I used to play with my friends. I did everything I could today, so Ashido looks at Coach Fukuda, whose look is as if he is asking him, are you really going to give up? Ashido imagines his brother's face after telling him that he failed, and how sad he would be after the effort he made for him. So Ashido ignites with enthusiasm and runs fast to intercept the ball from the opposing team and also manages to take it from Akutsu. Ashido tries to defend with all his effort, and Otomo is surprised that he is praising himself that much, so Ashido tells himself, I will not think about anything except this match, even if they are a strong team. If I believe in myself, I can give a good performance. And the crowd is surprised by him, because until now he is still able to run, so Hana and all the stadium crowd clap for him, and Ashido regains his confidence again. After that, Ashido takes the ball and starts running, and begins directing Tachibana how to move, so Tachibana says Ashido may not be a good player, but he gives courage to those around him, or maybe that is just my opinion, and while Tachibana is talking to himself, the ball hits the opponent's hand, so Otomo asks Ashido to take the free kick. Otomo prepares to shoot, but Ashido asks him, why are you different before and after the match? So he replies, yes, I get nervous before the match and keep thinking about what might happen, but once I hear the referee's whistle, I can regain my focus and mind again. And then Otomo steps in to shoot, fully certain that the ball will enter the goal, and suddenly Akutsu jumps and clears the ball, and the ball reaches an opposing player who starts a fast counterattack, and at the same time Ashido tracks back to defend with all his speed, and manages to intercept the ball after a bad touch from the player, and Akutsu is surprised by the speed of his recovery. At the same time, an opposing player manages to get past Ashido, but his teammate manages to regain the ball again, and tells himself, you are amazing to still be able to run, Ashido. I wished I could continue playing, but I can no longer, and I also lost my motivation and fighting spirit, and he sends the final ball to Ashido after running behind the opposing player. Ashido receives the ball and sprints at full speed, and goes to the far side to draw the opposing players, then sends a long ball to Takebana, who controls it and decides to shoot at goal, but he notices Otomo in the center of the opponent's area unmarked, so he passes him the ball to score, and Otomo shoots the ball with all his power, but Akutsu clears the ball off the goal line. So everyone is shocked, but unfortunately for Akutsu, Ashido is standing alone with no pressure on him, and he shoots the ball first time on the volley, and manages to score a wonderful goal, so Ashido falls to the ground because he cannot believe himself, and Tachibana and Otomo go to celebrate with him. Coach Fukuda says a beautiful goal. Football is about knowing what to do when you do not have the ball. It was a perfect attack shown by only 3 players, and Ashido who controlled the goal. This player is truly exceptional. After the match, Ashido goes to the coaches to ask them some questions, so Coach Fukuda asks him, what do you think of our youth team? So he replies, the word strong does not do them justice. Apart from the last goal, I could not do anything else, and knowing that they were not playing in their positions was a shock for us. And by the way, why did you let them play out of position in the first place? So he replies, because that is part of their training. A week ago, I told them they would play against the players who came for the trials, and I expected that they would beat you even while not playing in their positions. And now, what was on your mind before you scored your goal? Ashido replies, I do not remember, and I also do not know how I scored it, but I was at least trying to think only about the field. Once I thought of intercepting the ball at the start of the opponent's counterattack. I saw Otomo running toward the goal from the corner of my eye. I felt that he understood what I wanted to do, even though I was not very confident in myself, and then I moved closer to the goal in case Otomo missed the chance. The coach asks him, what else were you thinking about? So Ashido tells him, my mother and my brother. I managed to score thanks to them. So Fukuda is shocked, and Ashido continues speaking, I believed that I would become a professional player, because I caused my family nothing but trouble. That is why I wanted to compensate them for what I did, and I have nothing except football to compensate them with. Thank you for bringing me here. Whether I succeed in these trials or not, I will become a professional player without a doubt. After that, Ashido returns to the village again, and meets his friends at his mother's restaurant, and his friends are amazed by him because he is the only one who scored against the youth team. So his friend tells him, since they have not contacted you until now, that means they will not accept you, right? And even if you are accepted, what will you do? Will you go live in Tokyo? So Ashido's mother interrupts their talk and tells Ashido's brother that she will return home to rest. Ashido's brother tells him, why? You say that you do not care if you are not accepted, but I bet you cannot sleep well at night. So he replies, I gave all my effort, and I am mentally prepared in case I failed, and even if I succeed, I will never go to Tokyo alone, but still I want to succeed. After a while, Ashido's friends start joking and laughing, so his friend asks him, what is that in your pocket? So he tells her, this is a letter the coach's sister gave me, and asked me not to read it until I return to the village. So Ashido opens the letter and finds that it is a diet plan, so his friends ask him, is she a nutritionist? So he replies, I do not know, but she is the reason I brought out my maximum strength. So his brother tells him, if she is really the coach's sister, she must know the trial results. Call her and ask her. Ashido takes the phone and goes outside the cafe to call her, and as soon as Hana answers, Ashido's mother calls him and informs him that a parcel arrived by mail, which is from Tokyo City Club with the trial results. So Ashido opens it and finds himself accepted, and his mother apologizes to him because she opened the envelope before him. So his friends come out and celebrate with him, and Ashido goes to celebrate with his mother, but she tells him, sadly, I started to feel that football is taking you away from me. So Ashido is surprised. At night, Hana calls Ashido, so he asks her, "Why are you calling me so late?" So she replies, "When you called me today, I heard everything while you were talking to your mother. Did you not talk to her about traveling if you get accepted?" So he replies, "I did not get the chance to explain to her, because she went to work immediately as soon as I came back." So Hana gets angry at him, and tells him, "How did you not tell her? Did you also come to the trials without informing her?" So Ashido gets angry as well, and tells her it is none of your business. So his brother says, "Ask her why she sent you a diet plan, and do you have to follow it?" She replies, "No, he does not have to strictly follow it, but he must follow a balanced diet because he will need great fitness to play football, and it is also beneficial for the mind. That is why I made a very balanced plan for him. I have been studying it for a long time." So Ashido asks her, "Why are you doing all of this for me?" So she replies while smiling, "Honestly, I do not know why. Anyway, you are supposed to talk to your mother a bit." His brother says, "Honestly, this is the first time I see our mother this week." So Ashido replies, "I also did not know she had another trait besides strength, and since I know how she feels, I will not be able to travel to Tokyo like this." At the same time, his mother is standing outside at the door, and tells herself, "I cannot apologize right now. It is probably better to act normally. Then we can talk about the matter properly." And as soon as his mother opens the door, she hears Ashido talking to Hana, and telling her, "I want to make my mother's life easier. If I become a football player, I will be able to earn a lot of money. I may not be smart enough. That is why I will not find a better way than this to earn money. But if my travel to Tokyo will be hard on my mother, then I will have to find another way." And his mother hears his words while she is shocked. Suddenly she opens the door and yells at them. So Ashido and his brother get scared, and she tells them, "What exactly are you doing? Who are you talking to at such a time? When night comes you are supposed to be sleeping." So Ashido realizes that he has not hung up on Hana yet, and he quickly goes to hang up, but his mother takes the phone first, and tells Hana, "If you are from the club, pay attention to the time next time. And by the way, I need to know all the details about the money I will pay for Ashido to go to Tokyo, like school and housing and others. I want to know everything from you." So Hana quickly goes and brings a book with all the expenses, and starts explaining everything to her. After some time, Hana and some club staff inform his mother about the details of joining the club, and things move quickly so Ashido can travel, but still the right time did not come for his mother to talk to Ashido and express what is inside her. At the end of the night, Ashido is sitting in the village, and after several hours he will take the train and go to Tokyo, so he goes to his mother to talk to her, but his mother tries to avoid the subject, and tells him, "You seem to have taken too long. I will pack all the clothes that fit you, and now all your things are ready. I will not be able to come see you off because I have work," and in the end Ashido also cannot manage to talk to her. After that, Ashido goes to school to say goodbye to his friends, who are very shocked and sad, and after that he goes with his brother to head to the train, so his brother asks him, "How do you feel about the final farewell?" So he replies, "Sadness and depression are not my thing. I did not like to say goodbye to them at the train. It was enough for me to see them sad because of my travel." So his brother tells him, "If you need anything there, you must call me immediately, and by the way, I want you to specially thank Hana, because she sends you a diet plan every week, and she also calls us every now and then to answer our questions and ease our worries." Ashido says, "Anyway, I could not talk to my mother at all. Every time I try to talk to her seriously, she changes the subject. In general, I am supposed to become a professional player, but I think about my mother more than football. I decided that I will leave this village," while smiling, and when Ashido reaches the train station, he finds his friends waiting for him to say goodbye, so Ashido is shocked. He asks them, "How did you leave school?" So they reply, "After you left, the coach told us that we must go after you and say goodbye." So Ashido tries to hold back his tears, and tells them, "Let us take photos for memory," and before Ashido leaves, he tells them that he wished he could play football with them in high school, and because of them he will become a professional football player, and while he is talking, his brother gives him a bag, and tells him that his mother asked him to give it to him before he leaves. After that, Ashido gets on the train and opens the bag to see what is inside, and he finds a strange box with a letter, so he takes the paper and imagines that it will definitely scold me because she is not the type who writes letters, so he says, "No problem, I am ready to read it. But if she expresses how sad she is that I left her, I think I will cry." Ashido opens the envelope and finds inside a bank card to withdraw money with, and reads the letter that came with the card, which says, "I am sorry that I did not come to see you off. I knew that you were trying to talk to me. I apologize again for ignoring you, because sadness and depression are not my thing. I opened a bank account for you with some money, so you can spend on yourself there, and I will also pay your school fees and your club fees. In fact, I knew what you wanted to talk to me about, because I heard you before talking to Hana on the phone. I could not have let you talk to me while sad." Ashido becomes very surprised, and says this cannot be my mother's nature, and continues reading the letter, and finds that she bought him new shoes. So he quickly opens the box that was with the envelope, and is amazed by their beauty, and remembers the goalkeeper's words that provoked him about his old shoes, and Ashido continues reading the letter, which says the only thing that worries me is your sharp personality, but I am sure it is proof of your sincerity. It is my duty to support you because I am your mother. Finally, I do not know much about football, but whether you become a professional player or not, all of that does not matter to me, because I will always be proud of you, and I was also proud that I gave birth to you. Since playing football makes you happy, then you must give it all your effort. So Ashido breaks down crying. After that, Ashido arrives in Tokyo, specifically in front of the club gate, and he is happy and joyful, and Ashido enters inside and looks at the field while being amazed, and he asks himself whether the others were accepted or not, and suddenly he hears two girls screaming next to him, and they say the first team is training on the field. So Ashido goes after them while not believing himself, because he only sees those players on television. One of those girls notices Ashido, and asks him, "Are you not the player who was in the trials? You also brought your bag with you. That means you passed the trial?" So he replies yes, so she greets him and congratulates him, and wishes for him to get promoted to the first team, and asks him, "Is this the first time you see our first team training?" Since the fields are next to each other, the youth team can watch the main players training in front of them, and if you are a lucky person they might give you some advice, so Ashido becomes happy. Suddenly Ashido notices Otomo standing next to him, and Tachibana also joins them and greets them. So they become happy together that they are the only ones who were accepted, so the girls go and ask them for their signatures on their notebooks. So Tachibana tells them of course, this is the best way to celebrate, and then Ashido takes the notebook to sign it, but he notices a strange name on it. So Otomo asks him, "How do you not know anything about the team you are in?" and points to a player standing there, and tells him that is him. So the girls tell him that it is his first year in the youth team, but he got promoted quickly to the first team. Ashido tells himself even first-year youth players can play in the first team. That means if I perform well I can become a professional player in the fastest time. And at night the three of them go to the club dormitory, and they meet some youth team players, who are surprised that they were accepted in the trials. So a player named Yuma welcomes them, and tells them, "I played as a defender in the trials, but I am actually a striker." So Ashido replies to him, "You will probably be my substitute, because I am also a striker." So they are shocked by what Ashido says. Otomo scolds him for talking to him in that way, so Yuma points to a player next to him named Asari, so Asari greets them, and tells them that he was a striker in the trials, but he is actually a defender. So Tachibana goes and greets Yuma, and tells him that he hopes to learn football from them. So everyone present becomes surprised by him. At the same time a coach with them says there is someone who is very late. "Anyway, I will give you your shirts because you will enter the field now." And the coach gives Ashido his shirt and informs them that if they leave these shirts outside their rooms, the staff will take them and wash them. And also if they get torn or become tight they will give them a new one. And he tells Ashido, "Since your roommate has not arrived yet, give him his shirt." And then Ashido goes up to his room, and as soon as he enters he sleeps on the floor, and he is very happy and cannot believe himself. The next day, Ashido goes to the photo session, and the photographer asks Ashido to say his name and number loudly, and after he finishes, Ashido goes to Otomo, and asks him, "Why are they taking pictures of us?" "I was very nervous," so he replies, "This is the official player's guide. This guide is published by Japanese league clubs for fans. By the way, how is your roommate?" So he tells him actually he did not come. So Otomo becomes surprised that he has not arrived until now. After a while Tachibana goes to them, and introduces them to his roommate whose name is Kuroda, so he greets them and tells them that he got promoted from the middle school team this year, and informs them that only 3 were accepted in the trials, which is fewer than usual. So Ashido asks him, "Why are the players who got promoted from middle school always sitting together? I know that you have known each other for a long time, but there should be someone in between us and you." So Kuroda laughs and tells him that none of them knows how to talk well, but the only social one among them is Yuma, and they might also be a little nervous. So Ashido becomes surprised, and Kuroda continues speaking, "Because today one of our dreams came true." After that the coaches stand in a meeting with the players and the parents to announce the signing of 13 players to the youth team. But Ashido is distracted by something else, which is the sentence that Kuroda told him, and he thinks about how someone could dream of only joining the youth team, because until now not a single one of Ashido's dreams has come true, and that is because of his high ambitions. At the same time all the coaches start introducing themselves to the new players, until it is Coach Nozomi's turn, and he tells them that he is responsible for them, so they will meet him more than the other coaches, and also whoever plays well will get promoted to the first team. So Coach Fukuda enters on them and apologizes for being late, so Ashido notices the players' excitement the moment he enters. Suddenly they hear the sound of motorcycles coming from outside, and the player Tagashi enters who was late yesterday, so everyone present becomes surprised, and they ask how was he even accepted into the youth team. So Coach Fukuda tells him, "I told you before to cut your relationship with that biker gang," so he replies, "They are here just to say goodbye to me." Ashido goes to him, gives him his shirt, and tells him, "As you can see Coach Fukuda was about to speak now, and honestly I wanted to know what what he will say, so go wear your shirt quickly and come sit with us. So Togashi thanks him and greets him, and when Ashido goes back to sit on his chair, Kuroda tells him to be careful of Togashi and not to trust him. Nozomi talks about Fukuda and tells them many people come from far places specifically to learn from him, and he always says, we do not need players that we cannot control. And to reach the global level we need players who break my expectations. Even the players Fukuda takes from other teams are very skilled. So Coach Fukuda says now we will divide into 2 teams because we will play a match between the new players only. After that the players get ready for the match, and Takubana goes after Ashido, and asks him where are you going? I expected you to be more excited than this, so he replies I just wanted to focus a bit, so I looked for a place to sit alone. So Tachibana tells him do you not remember what Coach Fukuda said? Whoever shines in this match will get promoted to the first team, do not forget to warm up well before the match. And Tachibana leaves him and walks away, and Ashido sits on one of the benches. On the other side, Hana goes to Coach Fukuda, and tells him that she prepared lunch as he asked. But Fukuda looks confused and does not understand anything, so she gets angry at him, and asks him are you not the one who told me to prepare this lunch? And suddenly Ashido hears shouting coming from the window above him, and he hears everything by coincidence. Fukuda says I do not remember telling you to prepare anything, so she replies do you know what time I woke up to prepare it for you? So Fukuda apologizes to her, and informs her that he ate with the new players. So a coach in the room with Fukuda tells Hana, I was the one who asked Fukuda to bring you here, and that is because our sponsor's daughter is coming today, so you must be with her. So Hana gets angry, and replies but we do not understand each other at all. Fukuda tells her forget about that, did you hear how Coach Nozomi praised me? So Nozomi replies I only did that to reassure the parents, and by the way I am against the idea of letting the new players play a match in a new environment, so he replies they really still need time to get used to each other, but there is no better way than this for them to adapt, so Hana takes the food and tells her brother that she is leaving. But before she leaves she hears Coach Nozomi talking to Fukuda, and tells him that Ashido is not talented at all, and asks him you are not planning to treat him specially right, so he replies do not worry I am not that type of coach. So he tells him since the beginning of the trials, I have seen you doing that. This player if he does not develop greatly he will never become a professional player. I will not promote him to the first team no matter what. So Hana replies it is not good to talk about a player like that on his first day, and by the way I am a fan of Ashido, and I might even be his first fan. Hana leaves angrily, and when she goes outside she finds Ashido sitting on the bench under the window, and she also notices that the window is open and that he heard everything, so she quickly goes and closes it, and asks him whether he heard anything or not, but she is surprised when Ashido asks her to eat the lunch, so Hana feels embarrassed. After that the two of them walk together, and Ashido asks her why do you support me so much? I did not mean to eavesdrop on you but I heard at the end, so she tells him are you not supposed to have a match? Go on and leave me? So Ashido thanks her, not only for supporting him, but also for helping him convince his mother, so Hana becomes happy when she hears his mother's name, and tells him that his mother is truly an amazing woman, and tells him that as soon as she hears her words, she knows how much she cares about him. At the same time Togashi is coming from afar, and sees Hana and Ashido standing and talking, so he hides to know what they are talking about. So Hana says I can tell you why I support you, because you remind me of a certain player, and that person is important to me, that is why I might be supporting you for myself. And while she is talking, Hana notices that Ashido finished all the food, so she gets very angry at him, and asks him are you not supposed to have a match soon? Why did you eat so much food? And after an argument, Hana tells him to become a professional player, you must take care of your body, and she leaves him and walks away. After that the coaches gather with the players inside the field and inform them that they will play a 7 versus 7 match for 30 minutes, and Coach Nozomi says as Coach Fukuda said, whoever performs well will be promoted to the first team, so Ashido looks at the coach, and remembers his words about him, and tries to calm himself, and says I will not let you judge me without even giving me a chance to play. I will become a professional player without doubt, even if anyone says otherwise, besides I have many people supporting me. The match starts with a pass from Kuroda to Yuma, who takes the ball and runs fast, so Ashido asks him for the ball, but Yuma laughs at his look, until Tachibana presses him and tries to take the ball from him, so Kuroda asks him to pass him the ball, but Ashido also tells him to pass it to him as well, and in the end Yuma chooses Kuroda to pass the ball to, but suddenly Togashi, who is on the same team, pushes him, and shoots a powerful ball from the middle of the field, but unfortunately it hits the crossbar, so the coaches are impressed by him. Ashido goes to Togashi and asks him what are you doing? Even though the shot was great, why did you push Kuroda? He is on our team, anyway do not do that again. And the match resumes with a goal kick for the opposing team, and the goalkeeper plays it strongly to the middle of the field, and Asari manages to reach the ball first before Ashido, and passes the ball to Takebana, so Takebana is impressed by the pass, and suddenly Ashido slides on him and takes the ball from him. Ashido runs at great speed, and tells Yuma do not try to dribble, but Ashido is focused only on scoring, and tells himself no one will be able to stop my path, I do not care if anyone calls me selfish, because this match can take me to the first team very easily, I will score here, but suddenly he decides to pass to Yuma, and moves forward forward quickly so that Yuma passes the ball back to him, and he manages to score the first goal for his team, so Ashito becomes happy, but tells himself I am not satisfied yet, I will score many goals today. One of the coaches applauds Ashito and says he is truly an amazing player. The opponent defended well and prevented any shooting chances, but Ashito found a gap in the defense and managed to exploit it, and no one expected what he did. After that, Asari asks his teammate defender to switch positions with him so that he can stop Ashito, and the match resumes, and Ashito has in mind that he will score many goals. And at the same time, Tagashi runs with the ball at speed, and none of the opposing players can take the ball from him because of his physical strength, and one of the coaches praises him. So Ashito asks him for the ball, and when Ashito takes the ball, he is surprised to find Asari in front of him, but Ashito still tries to dribble past him, but Asari manages to take it from him easily. So Yuma tells him do not dribble too much and pass like before, so that we can find the best position to shoot. After that, Kuroda intercepts the ball and plays a long ball to Ashito, so Ashito says I will use the skill I learned from Fukuda and get past him with it, and he actually manages to get past him, but suddenly Asari comes back quickly and stands in front of him again, so Yuma asks Ashito for the ball, which would make him one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but Ashito decides to dribble again, and it is taken from him again, and he asks himself how after all this training the ball is taken from him. At the same time, Hana asks Coach Nozomi when you talked about Ashito's fatal flaw, did you mean his skill with the ball at his feet? So another coach with them says I also want to know, why do you doubt him even after he scored the goal? He might be lacking a lot in terms of ball skill. So the club sponsor's daughter, whose name is Kaido, replies you meant tactics, right? Ashito cannot apply tactics correctly, he will truly not be useful for the youth team. She is asked what tactics are you talking about? Did anyone give them instructions before the match? So Nozomi replies I mean individual tactics, or the players' decisions on the field. And at the same time Tagashi is confused by the playing style of the players who were promoted from middle school, and Kuroda calls Tagashi to move forward, and the ball reaches Ashito, who thinks again about dribbling past Asari, but he is surprised when Kuroda tells him to keep the ball, but Asari has already taken the ball from him. Kuroda goes to Ashito and asks him why did you not keep the ball like I told you? Why did you try to move forward? So Ashito replies you surprised me, so he asks him did you not understand from the commitment and power you would have understood what I meant? So Ashito is shocked and does not understand what he is talking about exactly. After that, Otomo is surprised by the way the two teams are playing, and asks why did they suddenly speed up the play. So Coach Nozomi says the team wearing black realized that Ashito would not overcome Asari, so they narrowed their formation and started playing short passes, and after this change in the playing plan, the team wearing red also started defending more strongly. Players are supposed to think by themselves to know the best way to attack. Freedom in thinking and decision-making was instilled in the minds of our academy players from a young age, and in reality they are the only ones who changed the way of play, while the others are trying to keep up with them. And as for Ashito, he is the only one who has not noticed that the way of play changed at all, because he is one of the players who rely on themselves, and that is because the abilities of youth players are stronger than the abilities of just school players. At the same time, Ashito stands on the field stunned and does not know what to do exactly, and he is shocked that they suddenly changed the way of play, and now there are 5 minutes left until the end of the match, and no one wants to play the ball to Ashito. So, Asari goes to Ashito and tells him I am truly happy because on the trial day you outplayed me and took the ball from me, and after that I blamed myself, and I was always asking how should I act correctly, but all of that was just luck. You are not a special player at all, so Ashito is shocked. At the same time, Yuma takes the ball and starts a counterattack and asks his teammates to move forward. So Ashito says I will not let the match end this way, and Ashito sprints fast and asks Yuma to pass him the ball. But Ashito is surprised by Yuma's response, who tells him stay back, we do not need you. So Ashito is even more shocked. So Coach Nozomi says this player Yuma is on a completely different level, and he directs Yuma's teammate to stand in the right place and runs toward the side of the field. So the spectators are surprised, and they say you went in the wrong direction. So Nozomi replies no, he is trying to draw the defenders toward him, and Yuma notices Kuroda running on the other side of the field, so he passes to his teammate behind him so he can play the ball to Kuroda. But suddenly Tagashi appears between them, so Yuma is surprised and asks himself what is he doing. Then Yuma remembers his words when he told them to move forward, so Yuma smiles and says it seems you actually followed the instructions and are not just muscles without a brain, and he tells his teammate to pass to Tagashi, who manages to shoot powerfully, scoring the second goal for his team, and Tagashi screams with joy. So Nozomi says Yuma was exceptionally talented since middle school. Even with Ashito's goal, he was the one who made the ball close to the goal. He truly has high awareness, and he is the suitable striker for the team, and at the same time Ashito is standing stunned, and says to himself, because I was standing still and did not move, Asari could not return to cover properly. My role in this attack was to do nothing. Even when I was in my village club, my selfish playing style made everyone hate me. At sunset, Ashito sits on one of the benches after the coach chose Yuma to join the first team only, so Ashito says to himself I scored a goal, but it was not enough. I do not know where the problem is, and suddenly Akutsu calls out to Ashido, and tells him I have not seen you since the trials, congratulations on being accepted, by the way I saw you playing today. So Ashido asks him what do you want from me, so he replies you have not changed at all since the trials, and Akutsu grabs him hard, and continues speaking I do not know how they registered you with them, your skills are weak and none of your teammates pass you the ball, and Akutsu throws him to the ground. So Ashido tells him this is my first day here, and I will not give up and I will become a professional player, so he replies your parents are idiots like you, they wasted their money on a talentless kid, are they really waiting for you to sign a professional contract? So Ashido gets angry at him, and tells him not to involve his family. After that Ashido goes to Coach Nozomi, and asks him what should I do to become a real football player. You know what I am missing, I will do anything, that is why I came to you so you can teach me how to play football. At night, Hana and Kaido the sponsor's daughter are at the bus station, and Kaido says I know why you admire Ashido, because he resembles Fukuda right? And suddenly Kaido feels shy and hides behind Hana, and at the same time Coach Fukuda arrives to them, and he is surprised that Hana is still at the club and has not gone home yet, and he notices Kaido and greets her, but Kaido cannot believe that she met Fukuda, and goes to talk to him, and tell him how much she loves him, and suddenly one of the coaches comes quickly to Fukuda, and informs him to go talk to Ashido to convince him to stop training. After they go to him, they see him training with all his effort. So Hana asks what is he trying to do. So the coach replies he asked Nozomi for advice, and since then he has not returned to his room. So Hana tells Kaido they are not similar in playing style, but they have the same spirit. I am sure if he continues with this passion he will become a great player. I will keep supporting him all the time. After that Ashido calls his brother, and asks him how much will you pay for the youth team for me over 3 years. So his brother is surprised, and Ashido continues speaking my mother did not tell me the total cost at all, so he replies she is beside me take her words. So Ashido says wait, I have not achieved anything since I came here, that is why I cannot talk to her. So his mother gives a notebook to his brother, and after he reads it, he informs him that it is around 300,000 per year, so Ashido tells him that he will pay this money himself. The next day, the players go down to the field to train. So a player goes to Ashido and asks him why do you let the ball rebound like that? We are training on passing here, and every time the ball stops at you. So another player goes and tries to calm him, and tells him that he is still new with them. At night Ashido is training alone and blames himself after failing in training, and says I must train alone every day so I can improve, and suddenly Tachibana and Otomo come to him, so Tachibana tells him you will be better after training with other people, we will help you train, so Ashido thanks them for their help. The next day Coach Nozomi shouts at Ashido, because he is more exhausted and tired than anyone present, so the coach with Nozomi tells him that he must reduce extra training, and Nozomi tells him extra training cannot interfere with basic training, so Ashido replies regular training sessions are not enough, I must put in more effort than the rest, or I will not be able to close the gap between me and them. So Nozomi tells him I received a call from the dorm, saying they saw 3 people leaving the dorm at night after lights out, so Ashido gets nervous, and Nozomi continues speaking do not tell me that you were ignoring curfew to train, and he calls Tagashi to ask him if Ashido broke the rules, so he replies I was asleep, how would I know? So one of the players goes to Ashido, and tells him since you are Tagashi's roommate, why do you not learn the basics from him? He may be different from middle school players, but he plays correctly. After training Otomo and Tachibana go to Ashido to do extra training, but Ashido refuses and tells them that they must rest a bit, so they leave and walk away, and Ashido enters his room and holds the ball, and says I do not want to harm them with me, and he looks at Togashi, whom he finds sleeping, and opens the door to go down alone. But suddenly Togashi wakes up and says you are going down alone again? But do not worry, I will not complain because you are leaving me alone in the room. But I see tension in your eyes, you must take care of your health, so you do not drain yourself and end your career. So Ashido replies it will not work, the players here are very skilled, I must develop quickly or I will always be behind them, this youth team is the best place for me. So Togashi laughs, and tells him that he will help him train today. After that the two of them go to the field to train, and Togashi throws the ball at Ashido's face, and tells him how many times did I tell you to open your body position when you receive? How long will I keep explaining how to do it? And Togashi shouts at him loudly, and asks him why are you so terrible? So Ashido replies you are not qualified to teach anyone at all? Anyway why are you making me shoot the ball at the wall? So he tells him first we must fix all your bad habits, but it is clear that the problem is in your mind not your habits. So Ashido asks him what does that mean? So he tells him the goal is not only shooting the ball, and now continue your training, so Ashido shoots the ball, and when it comes back to him again, Togashi asks for it quickly, but Ashido plays it very slowly, so he tells him passing the ball is not the end. you are supposed to pass it and prepare for your next move, and Togashi gets very angry, because he told him this many times, so he asks him why do you not show us yourself, and Ashido plays the ball to him quickly, and suddenly, but Togashi manages to control it properly, so Ashido is shocked. He asks himself how did he do that so fast, but finally Ashido understands Togashi's words, so Togashi laughs, and tells him you reminded me of myself in the past. Back when I was young I went to a club to train, but everyone knew me as badly raised, and no one gave me any attention, and I started to feel frustrated, until Coach Fukuda came to me and told me that I was talented, and at that time he saw me while I was training, but I told him I do not have much time, can you tell me exactly what to do? Because he was always standing in the place where he was supposed to tell me what to do. I remember at that time he told me I will not tell you anything, search by yourself, because if you learn something by yourself you will never forget it, and since then I have been training alone with the advice he gave me. On the next day, Coach Nozomi tells them to confirm the passing training we practiced. We will play a small match 4 versus 4. You will be allowed to dribble only in the first part of the field, and long shots are forbidden and even one-on-one duels, meaning you must pass the ball to reach the goal. The match starts with a pass from a player on Ashido's team to him, and he takes it and passes to Asari, so an opposing player says press Ashido because he is the weakest one here, so Asari passes the ball to Ashido, and he manages to keep the ball and passes it again under pressure from the opponent, and after several passes, Ashido tells himself I must open my body to widen my vision like Togashi told me, and indeed he manages to receive the ball properly, and this keeps the opponent away from him and still not close to him, and then he will be able to move freely. After that Asari passes the ball to Ashido, who signals to his teammate to run into the space, and Ashido plays a through pass to him, and he manages to score the opening goal, so his teammates applaud him, and even the opposing players, so Asari goes to Togashi, and tells him I know you were training Ashido at night, but what were you teaching him so he improved this fast? So he replies just the basics. After that Ashido goes to the club restaurant, and he is very happy with how delicious the food is, and after a lot of talk with Otomo and Takabana, Asari stands up and goes to Ashido, and tells him we will finally start regular training with the first team starting tomorrow, and there are rumors saying that most new players cannot keep up with them on the first day. I wonder what they will do to you. On the next day, Coach Fukuda says, today the first team and second team will train together for the first time. I hope this training helps you get to know each other better. And by the way, we will play an 11 versus 21 match on the field. First we will try 11 players from the second team, and 21 players from the first team, and then we will reverse the numbers. The match starts and the ball is taken from Ashido and turns into a counterattack. So Ashido gets very angry, and tries to understand what Coach Fukuda is doing, and after the match ends, Fukuda informs them that they will switch the numbers, 11 players from the first team, and 21 from the second team, but Ashido is angry, because this is just kids play and not training. The match starts, and Tachibana tells Ashido that they have a numerical advantage so they must exploit it, and Ashido takes the ball and charges forward, and says Akutsu usually plays in defense, but positions do not matter now when there are many players. If we manage to spread them on the field, I will be able to break through and score a goal, but Ashido realizes that there are no spaces in front of him, and Tachibana gets confused when he finds himself not knowing where to go. The ball is taken from Ashido, and turns into an attack for the opponent, and their captain shouts at them to play on the wing, and they manage to score the opening goal, so they are shocked by the strength of this team. So Akutsu tells Ashido, even in an 11 versus 21 match our team can still create attacks while being outnumbered, and that is because there are players like you who do not know anything about football. After that the play continues at high speed, and Yuma crosses the ball toward the striker, who manages to score the second goal from it, and shock appears on the faces of Ashido's team players, because even while having a numerical advantage, they cannot even do anything right. So Ashido tells them how are we supposed to play football with 21 players? I do not know what we are supposed to do. So Asari replies you are right, we have an overwhelming numerical advantage, meaning if we focus on the basics we can win. The match resumes again, and Kuroda runs with the ball, and notices that the opponents are not pressing him, because they rely on their skill and physical condition to score, so he says we have many players, but the first team is positioned properly, and then he passes the ball to Ashido, and Asari tells him the number of players does not matter. What matters is that we play normally, and Asari tells himself the first team is far above us, their skill and physical condition are higher than high school level, so Ashido calls him and tells him to focus more on the match, and also to care about the basics. So Asari and Kuroda move forward with Ashido, and Asari shouts at him to return the ball to him, so Ashido passes it, and tells him I could have scored a goal from that, so they get angry at him, and Asari tells him to focus on their movements, and plays the ball back to him, and Ashido thinks that if he can keep the ball here, and then play it to his teammates running behind the defenders, besides there is space behind Akutsu, and he can run into it and reach the goal, but before he plays it, he finds someone covering that space, so Kuroda signals to him to pass the ball, so Ashido passes it to him, but he is shocked when Kuroda tells him why did you pass it to me you idiot, and the ball ball is taken and turns into a counterattack, and they score the third goal from it. Akutsu laughs at Ashido, and Kuroda goes to him, and tells him angrily, you told us to focus on the basics, but it is clear that you do not know what the basics are, so Coach Nozomi goes to him, and tells him to think about why Asari and Kuroda got angry at him. On the next day, Ashido is sleeping on the floor in the room and remembers the coach's words to him and that he must know the answer to why Asari and Kuroda got angry with him. And Togashi comes out of the bathroom and tells him, are you going to stay sitting like this for long? Today is our only day off in the week. Go and occupy your time with anything. So he replies, there is no place I want to go to right now. After that, Ashido goes down to the street and meets Tachibana and Otomo, and Tachibana tells him since today is a day off, everyone is going back to their homes again. We live in Tokyo, so it is easy for us to go home, but unfortunately for you, you will not be able to, so he replies, do not worry about me, I will use this time to train. Ashido goes to Togashi, who is preparing to leave with his biker gang, and tells him since your family is outside Tokyo and no one will be with you, you can go sit with Akutsu, his family is also outside the city. So Ashido shouts loudly and tells him that he will never sit with him, and while he is walking, he finds Asari walking with his friends, but Asari completely ignores him and does not even greet him. Ashido goes up to the room feeling sad and tells himself, I have not spoken with the players promoted from middle school since the match. It seems I still have not mastered the things that are natural to them. They do not see me as part of the team. I will get up and call my friends in the village. So Ashido stops and decides that he will not call them because he does not know what he would tell them after failing to achieve a real accomplishment. So he sits very sad. Then Ashido gets angry and gets up again to take himself down to train. Suddenly Hana enters the room and invites him to go with her to see his new high school. And by the way, it is the same school as hers as well, so he asks her, what are you doing? How do you enter the youth dorm like this? So she replies, you do not have a phone. How am I supposed to call you? So he tells her, anyway, I am not interested in school. Besides, I have other things I must do. But she gives him the bike key and takes him with her. At the same time, Otomo forgets something in his dorm and goes back quickly to get it, and is surprised when he sees Ashido walking with Hana, so he follows them to know what they are doing, and after some walking, Hana gets angry at him because he is not talking to her, so they both fall from the bike, and Ashido asks her, are you trying to get me injured? So she replies, you reminded me actually, I forgot to give you your weekly diet plan. If you want to have muscles and not get injured a lot, you must follow this plan. After that, Ashido goes with her to the city center and enters while holding ice cream in his hand, so she asks him, why did you not get one for me? So he replies, I do not like sweets much, so she tells him, very good, you are on the first path of the diet. So Ashido asks her, do you want to become a nutritionist? She replies, I want to become a sports medicine doctor. That is why I must take extra English courses every day. That is why I am busy all the time. So Ashido remembers Coach Nozomi's words and tells himself, I cannot focus like this. I am supposed to train as soon as possible. After that, they finally arrive at the school, and Hana informs him that the club has a partnership with this school, so any youth player can enroll in this school, and also the fees here are cheap, and their curricula and activities are designed specifically around the player's training schedule. Ashido tells her, I must leave now. I already know how to get to the school. So she replies, wait! Rest days are made specifically for rest, Ashido. You must think about the quality of your training. Just training blindly will not benefit you at all. So he asks her, what are you saying? You barely even know me? So she replies, but I saw in the trainings and internal matches. I worry about you when I see you sad, because you remind me of my favorite player at that time. Ashido angrily tells her, you keep talking about your favorite player every time. What do you want me to do? And there is something else. I do not want you to do all these things for me. People will misunderstand when they see a girl like you caring about me. You do not need to worry about me anymore. This is my body and I know it best. I just want to train. Suddenly Hana gets angry and cries at the same time, and Hina steps back a bit, then lunges at Ashido quickly and kicks him with her legs, and takes her bike and leaves. So Ashido is very shocked, and Otomo laughs at him, and tells him, I knew you would not know how to deal with girls. After 10 days, the players go to school on the first day of classes, and Yuma goes and talks with Kaido. And after he finishes with her, Otomo goes to Yuma and asks him, is that not our sponsor's daughter? How do you know her? So he replies, my mother worked in their house for a long time, and at the same time, Ashido is sitting alone angry. Otomo goes to him and asks him, did you think about what I told you before? So Yuma tells him, I heard that you made Hana cry. So Otomo informs him that Hana is not in their class, and according to his observation, she is in the English class, meaning in another building from here, and he will not see her much. And Otomo tells him, you have 24 hours to apologize to that girl. But Ashido goes to Asari and Kuroda and tells them that he does not know why they got angry with him, and tells them also, I do not understand why we cannot understand each other. And Ashido goes and draws the match flow on the board for them and explains what he was thinking at that time, and tells them after thinking for 10 days, I said you must have gotten angry at me because I would not be able to get past Akutsu. Anyway, I want to work with you and score goals. Kuroda stands up and tells him, since you want us to discuss football, I do not mind, but I want to hear from you how you were going to score without facing Akutsu. So Ashido starts explaining 3 plans he had in mind. So Asari tells him, enough! All your ideas end with you scoring the goal yourself. Why? You must stop your obsession with scoring goals alone, then we can discuss football. So Kuroda agrees with Asari's opinion. Ashido tells them, you got angry with me just because of that. I am the striker here. Why would I not think about scoring goals? The moment a striker stops obsessing over goals, he is finished. I came here to become the best striker in the world. So Asari replies, I do not know how you passed the trials. I keep thinking about the teammates whose spots I took. So Otomo goes to him and asks him, what are you saying? Ashido and I fought hard in the trials. So the two of them start arguing and want to hit each other. So Kuroda tells Asari that he went too far. At sunset, Ashido finishes school and is on his way to his room, and while he is walking, Coach Nozomi appears in front of him and tells him, you will be a starter in the first league match, but first you must prove to me that you found the answer to the question I told you, and if you did not, I will not put you in the starting lineup for 3 months ahead. After a week, the team captain gathers the players who are causing trouble and tells them, you must stop these fights of yours. The other team will play an official match today, and your behavior during the past period has been lowering the team's morale. Yes, your opponent is not as strong, but in this way we might waste the win from our hands. After that, Otomo sits with Ashido and Tachibana and tells them the hostility between us and Asari has spread to the whole team, and I no longer know what to do with him. He is not even happy that Ashido will start today, but Ashido is sitting thinking deeply about Asari's and the coach's words, and tells himself, if I do not understand why they got angry at me today, my career will end. And Ashido notices Coach Fukuda talking to Hana on the phone, so Ashido goes to him and asks him to put it on speaker, and Ashido tells her, I will follow your diet plan, and I will play the match as a starter in my first official appearance. I want you to come cheer for me. Then Coach Fukuda calls him and asks him, how do you feel today as a starter? And do you think you will win today? So he replies, I never thought about any match before, but I am sure that we will win by me scoring many goals. So the coach tells him, I will tell you something honestly, in football you will not be able to do everything alone. After that, the match starts with a pass from Otomo to his teammate, but another teammate from their team takes it, so Otomo is surprised and tells himself, why did you take it? I wanted to play it forward. But his teammate does not find anyone next to him, so he passes it to the middle of the field, and it hits an opponent player, and the ball goes between Ashido and Asari Kuroda. But none of them tries to take the ball thinking that his teammate will take it, so an opponent player cuts it and scores the first goal, so the team captain shouts at them, and after 35 minutes of the first half pass, the score becomes 3-0 for the opponent team. After the first half ends and the players enter the locker room, their teammate shouts at them and tells them, we might be the second team, but we are still wearing Tokyo City shirts. So Asari says, we are doing what we can. So Otomo asks him, what exactly do you mean? We did not do anything right today. Do you want to put the blame on us trial players? Then the team captain shouts at them and tells them, you spread the negative atmosphere you had in training into the match and made naive mistakes that led to 3 goals. Did you not come here to become professional players? You now do not have a single bit of professionalism. So Ashido says, I still have no idea why they got angry at me. In the first half I tried to defend even though that was boring, and I also passed to my teammates a lot and that was boring too, but still this is not what Asari and Kuroda want at all. So the team captain goes to Coach Nozomi and asks him to substitute Ashido and Asari and also Kuroda, because they will not be able to win while they are on the field. But the coach leaves them on the pitch and brings Tagashi on instead of another defender, so they become very surprised. So one of the players goes to Nozomi and tells him, so we are playing chaotically and you also want to bring Tagashi on. So Tagashi says sarcastically, I do not think I will be able to score 3 goals with these promoted players present. They are more concerned about defending their positions. So they get very angry and go to fight with him. So Ashido shouts at Tagashi and tells him that this talk is completely wrong, because even if we might not understand each other, everyone here is giving their maximum. No one here believes there is anything more important than winning the match. So the coach says, I might not play you in the next matches, so take advantage of this match. After that, the players go down to the field again, and Kuroda goes to Ashido and thanks him and leaves, so Ashido is surprised, and Ashido's team notices that the opponent has dropped back to defend with all their players, so the team captain goes to Ashido and Asari and Kuroda, and tells them to resolve their tensions as quickly as possible, because the left side they are on has been useless until now, and suddenly Ashido starts to understand the issue, and connect the events together, and says the thing that was common between the 3 of us only was the same side. The second half of the match starts, and Ashido's team tries to break through the opponent's defense, but it is very strong and there are no spaces on the field, so Asari tells one of the opponent players, "Do you not feel ashamed playing defense like this?" So he replies, "It might not be fun, but we refuse to lose against you." So Asari becomes frustrated, and Ashido notices him standing in front of him looking at him, and asks him, "Can you not run behind the opponent defender?" But the team captain calls them to regroup again. So Ashido says, "Kuroda was always positioned between me and Asari." So Tagashi asks him, "Were you standing all this time watching our teammates? We only played 30 minutes. So he replies, "I noticed immediately, and understood how they were thinking. I was always thinking all the time, why are they not looking at me? But in reality I was the one not looking at them." At the same time the coach with Nozomi says we must take them out, or it will affect their morale in the future, especially Asari and Ashido. So he replies, "Give me just 5 minutes." After that Asari takes the ball and runs forward, so Ashido notices that he and Asari and Kuroda are at the same distance all the time, so Ashido moves closer to Asari and asks him for the ball, so both of them are surprised, and Kuroda runs forward, and Asari passes the ball to Ashido, who passes it to Kuroda with one touch, so he runs with the ball but is pressured, so Asari asks Ashido to move closer to Kuroda, but the ball has already been cut, but Ashido is surprised to see Kuroda saluting him, so the coach with Nozomi says this is another mistake from Ashido. He should have passed the ball and run, but he stayed in his place, and now 5 minutes have passed. We must take them out, so he replies on the contrary. Ashido understood why they got angry at him. We only played 30 minutes, I expect to see something exciting today. While play continues, Ashido looks Asari in the eye to receive the ball coming from Kuroda and pass it to him quickly, and they keep passing the ball to each other several times, so Ashido tells himself, "I am sorry Kuroda. I thought about Asari and did not think about you." So Kuroda passes the ball to Ashido, and Tagashi and Tachibana ask Ashido for the ball on the other side, so Ashido says, "Let me focus on Asari's and Kuroda's movements," and he enters the opponent's area, but he does not shoot and passes the ball to Asari to score the first goal, so the captain goes and celebrates with them, but the opponent players are surprised and ask themselves, how did Ashido and Asari break the defense like that? Play resumes again and Ashido asks himself, why did I not shoot the ball myself and passed it to Asari? And after that Togashi plays a long pass toward Ashido, who takes the ball and controls it properly, and looks at Asari, so he notices him and runs to open space, and then passes him the ball, and signals him to pass to Kuroda, and Kuroda manages to score the second goal, so Ashido becomes very happy, and Asari goes and shakes his hand for the first time. Coach Nozomi says, one of Ashido's biggest problems is that he wants to do everything by himself. He is an example of a player who only thinks about himself until he finally realized that the basic shape in football is the triangle, because it requires at least 3 players to break any defense in front of them. After a while, the opponent goalkeeper falls to waste some time, so Kuroda tells Ashido, during the training match, Coach Fukuda wanted to teach us how to play with any number, and train us that the basic shape in football is the triangle, so Asari says, but you were moving, as if you did not understand what a triangle means, and you were not even looking at us because you just wanted to score, so Kuroda replies, after I finished my options, I signaled you to play the ball to Asari, but you suddenly passed it to me. So Ashido tells him, but you could have told me. So he replies, we actually did that, we were always talking about the importance of triangles in training, you surely heard about it a lot, but you considered it simple, and did not think about it. You were not interested at all, so Ashido replies, I was ready to learn football from the beginning, but I did not even think about learning from my teammates, and Ashido thanks them for teaching him football. After that the opponent captain shouts at his players, and tells them to try to stop the trio on the left side, and also defend well so they do not equalize, but he notices the level of enthusiasm on Asari, Kuroda and Ashido. The match resumes again, and Ashido takes the ball and runs fast, and tells himself, I thought football was taking the ball and going to the goal, but that was completely wrong. You must form a triangle with 2 players beside you, and think how we can break into the opponent's area. So a player presses Ashido, and Asari notices that there is now space behind the defender, so he runs to exploit it. So Ashido passes the ball to him, and Ashido continues running to support him, and signals to Asari to play the ball to Otomo, because he managed to pull another defender toward him. So Otomo is now standing alone in the heart of the opponent's area. So Asari sends a high ball toward Otomo, who controls the ball and shoots to score the equalizer, and the entire stadium stands shocked by the beautiful goal. Then Kaido and Yuma enter the stadium to watch the match, and Yuma says Ashido made a strong performance in that attack, so Hana is surprised and asks, did not Asari and Otomo contribute to the goal? So Kaido replies, Ashido made a dummy run inside the opponent's area, and that is what attracted the opponent players to him, and at that moment Otomo was standing alone, so a supporter standing with them replies, you are right, Ashido is the one who did everything in that attack. After a while, the referee gives 3 minutes of stoppage time, so their captain motivates them to score the 4th goal and win the match. and the match resumes again. So Yuma says when we were at school, Ashido drew the match flow on the board, and no one in the class noticed except me. So Kato said while standing with me, no player can memorize all players' positioning like this. So at that time Togashi replied Ashido's development speed is amazing, his basics are funny, but when he learns something he masters it. I think he has a high instinctive ability. So the supporter with them laughs, and tells him so he memorized the players' positioning on the field. And now he predicts how players will move! You are a first team player, how can you say such illogical things? So he replies anyway I felt great enthusiasm toward Ashido during training. So Hana hears that and looks at Ashido exactly like Fukuda. At the same time, Ashido tells himself time is running out, but my brain can no longer function, and then the ball goes out for a throw in, so the captain asks Ashido to take it quickly, and when he goes to get it, he is surprised to find Hana holding the ball, so she tells him you need to calm down a bit, and hands him the ball and apologizes to him, so Ashido laughs and takes the ball from her, and tells her that he will score a goal for her. But before Ashido takes the throw in, Asari comes and takes it from him, and tells him that he needs him to move forward, but Ashido is the one who takes the throw in to Asari, so Asari passes it back to him, and suddenly their captain asks them all to attack. So the players become very excited, and the opponent players get confused because they do not know whom to mark, and Ashido moves forward quickly, and the opponent captain presses him and tries to take the ball from him, but Ashido passes to Asari at the right time, and says I will score the winning goal. Ashido runs fast and stands in the space, and Asari plays a long pass to him, and Ashido shoots the ball on the volley, and scores the fourth goal in the last moments, so the players run to celebrate with him, and Ashido points at Hana as part of his celebration. On the other side, one of the first team players is standing with coach Fukuda and tells him Akutsu does not talk about players at all, but when he mentioned this player, it made me watch him carefully. The strange part is that this player is not aware of his abilities. The opponent team was obsessed with defending and did not leave any space to break through or shoot, but he managed to discover gaps and win us the match. At night, the team goes to a restaurant to celebrate their win, and Ashido is very happy and excited about the food, so Hana yells at him and tells him the meat you are eating is full of fat, so Ashido gets angry. After a while, Ashido asks her to attend all their matches to motivate the team, and tells her that they will also win the next match. So Kuroda tells Asari, you wanted to say something to Ashido and the others, right? So Asari tells them on the school day I might have exaggerated a bit, I apologize to you, so Tachibana stands up and tells him I was not there that day, but an honest conversation like this will strengthen our relationship, and he goes to him and shakes his hand, and tells him from today they will be one team, and calls Otomo to shake hands with him as well. So Kuroda tells Ashido when we fought at school, you talked about your obsession with scoring, honestly I liked what you said. Suddenly the players gather around the television to watch their teammate playing his first match with the first team, so Ashido is amazed and remembers the time when the two girls talked about him, so Kaido goes to him and tells him try to follow his movements, even though he is 1 year older than you must see his actions while being pressured by players, and ask yourself what would I do if I were in his place on the field, and if you do not mind tell me what you see. So Ashido looks at the television in amazement.